topping off the acclaimmusic.net top 3,000 most recommended albums of all time. The top of the pops, the big kahuna, the greatest, to the surprise of no one, is Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. Calling Pet Sounds the greatest album of all time in 2022 is a meme at this point, having topped decades upon decades of best-of lists, being cited by, stolen from musicians across the entirety of the pop music spectrum, from Paul McCartney to Questlove, Deftones to Jay Dilla, Talking Heads to every single indie band in existence. We have a litany of academic essays about its music, documentaries, biographies, interviews, tribute albums, tribute concerts, and, let's not forget, parodies of the music itself, the people who love it, and of Brian Wilson's single-minded pursuit of brilliance.
Yeah, like that with some urgency.
Hell, there's even a biopic about its creation with Paul Dano that has been called the greatest music biopic of all time. So clearly, there is something about the music here that elevates Pet Sounds above the rest. There is just something genius about Brian Wilson and his collection of introspective, melancholy love songs that puts critics in a tizzy, fans in a frenzy, and the album on a pedestal. Well, yes and no. Our belief at long play, our raison d'être, is that great albums are not just great because they have good music. What matters as much, and in the case of some albums even more, is the myth of a record, the historical context, its influence on other records, or a way in which it supports a pop culture narrative. Especially that last piece. And luckily for us, Pet Sounds, as the top album on this list, embodies all of those things and more. It is an album whose mythological and narrative qualities are just as important to understanding the record's modern reputation as much as its music. In many ways, Pet Sounds is a prototype for a great art narrative that modern audiences eat up and adore, for better or worse. But if that's the case, what is the narrative of Pet Sounds? Where do we start? Well, why not start with the mythology? What is the myth of Pet Sounds?